Hello viewers, how are you doing today? I hope you are doing fine. Good. I want us to look at this question in mathematics. It's under the topic sum and product of the root of quadratic equation, which streamline to symmetric function of quadratic roots. Now, we are given this question there. If alpha, beta are the roots of quadratic of equation 2x squared plus x minus 4 is equal to 0, calculate the value of alpha raised to power 4 plus beta raised to power 4. Now, we ought to have gotten idea about the sum and product of the root, the value we normally use to get for them. Now, if I want to approach the question from my hand now, I will start by writing this equation again. Solution: I have 2x squared plus x minus 4 equal to 0. I need to find the value of my a, b, and c, which I mean the coefficient of x squared, coefficient of x, and that of the constant. A is equal to 2, b will be equal to 1, and c is equal to minus 4. A is the coefficient of x squared, b is equal to coefficient of x, while c is the constant value that we have here. Now, having got this, I also need to find the value of my sum of the root and product of the root, because it is going to be an application in our subsequent uh, solution to the question we have here. Now, we have this sum of root, which is alpha plus beta is equal to minus b over a, which is equal to, what is the value of our b? Minus 1, and our a is 2. So sum of root is minus 1 over 2. Product of root. Product of root, which is alpha beta, is equal to c over a, which is equal to minus 4 over 2. And minus 4 divided by 2, that will be equal to minus 2. Having got this, we are going to make sure that we keep this information aside, because we are going to still make reference to it in our subsequent solution to the question. Now, we will not go to the question in proper. The question says we should find the value of alpha raised to power 4 plus beta raised to power 4. Now, alpha raised to power 4 plus beta raised to power 4 will be equal to alpha squared plus alpha beta plus beta squared, put in bracket, another bracket, you have alpha squared minus alpha beta plus beta squared minus alpha squared beta squared. This is the information that this is going to list to. If you try to open up this bracket by multiplying every value there and subtracting this one from it, you discover that you are still going to get this alpha raised to power 4 and beta raised to power 4. We have been able to simplify it on our own. So let's go ahead solving it. Now, we are to make sure that we work towards finding the value of sum of root and product of root. That is our intention whenever we are dealing with this kind of a question. So here now, we know alpha raised to power 4 plus beta raised to power 4 will become, we are going to rearrange this information here, because we do not have any information that has to deal with alpha squared plus alpha beta. So we are going to have alpha squared plus beta squared plus alpha beta. I'll try to rearrange, and we have alpha squared plus alpha beta squared minus alpha beta minus alpha squared beta squared. That is what this one means at this stage now. Now, in our sum and product of the root, when we are trying to find the symmetric functions, the alpha squared plus beta squared means that, so we have alpha raised to power 4 plus beta raised to power 4 now will be equal to alpha plus beta all in bracket square minus 2 alpha beta. That is the value of alpha squared plus beta squared. That is the value that has already been gotten initially. Now, that is the value always given to it. Now, we now move ahead. That will be what? Plus alpha beta. That one is closed there. We have this one again. We have this alpha squared. That will be what? Alpha plus beta, in bracket squared, minus 2 alpha beta. I'm still talking about this. Minus alpha beta. I close the bracket up here. Then I have minus alpha squared beta squared. Now, I will go this like this. You can try to simplify it further to become alpha squared plus beta, alpha plus beta, sorry, beta squared, put it in bracket, minus 2 alpha beta plus alpha beta will be minus alpha beta. That is in non-bracket there. Then we also have this alpha plus beta squared minus 2 alpha beta minus alpha beta is minus 3 alpha beta. You close the bracket like that, minus alpha beta, put it both in the bracket square. You know that when you have a value in bracket like this, it means alpha squared, beta squared. Both of them, since they are not the same terms, so they are going to share this square value on them. Now, having called this like this now, you can now look at it that yes, we have been able to arrive at looking for the value of sum of the root and product of the root. That's the only thing that we have there now. If you look at this very well, this is the sum of the root, alpha plus beta. Alpha beta, this is the product of the root. Alpha plus beta is another sum of the root. Minus 3 alpha beta. Alpha beta here is product of the root. Alpha beta, product of. So we now insert the value that we have initially gotten there. We will now insert it into the position where we have the respective informations. So we are going to have, what is the value of our alpha plus beta? That's minus 1 over 2 squared. I'm following this trend now. Minus alpha beta, that's minus 2. You can see it. Make sure you follow it accordingly. Then you have again alpha plus beta, that's 1 over 2 minus 1 over 2 squared as well. Minus 3 into bracket alpha beta, that is the product, minus 2 minus alpha beta is what? Minus 2 raised to the power of 2. So this one has been able to show us that this equation or this particular value can be solved easily. So we can simplify it from here now. So we have minus 1 squared because both the numerator and denominator here are going to share from this square here. Minus 1 squared, 2 squared. That's what we're going to have there. We're having 1. Minus 1 times minus 1 is 1. Over 2 raised to the power 2 is 4. Minus times minus is plus 2. Another bracket upon it. That will be what? 1 over 4 as well. Minus 3 times minus 2, that's plus 6. Minus 2 squared. Minus 2, that is here. Squared, that was what? That will be 4. That was minus 4. Because you have to make sure that you first of all find the square of this minus 2 before you apply this negative value outside this bracket A. Now we have this as minus 4 there like that. So definitely we are having a fraction here inside this bracket. So we have to find the LCM. So what is the LCM of 4 and 1? That will be 4. 4 here, 1, that's what? 1 times 1 is 1. Plus 1 in 4 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. So also here, we find the LCM, which is 4. 4 in 4 is 1, 1 times 1 is 1. Plus 1 in 4, 4. 4 times 6 is 24. Close the bracket again. So minus 4. So we are having here 9 over 4. 9 over 4, put it in bracket. Then we have 25 over 4, put it in a bracket like that as well, minus 4. So that is the value we have so far now. I want to make a space for the remaining parts now. The value we have here, you can see these two brackets, you know, following the so-called board mass, you're going to have 9 over 4 multiplied by 25 over 4. That is the meaning of that bracket beside one another, minus 4. So you are having 9 multiplied by 25. 9 times 5 is 45. That is 5 remain 4. 9 times 2 is 18. 18 plus 4. 18 plus 4, that will be 22. That is 225 over 4 times 4 is 16 minus 4. So we know that this is a fraction here. This is a value here. So we have to find the LCM, which is 16. So 16 in 16 is 1. That's 225 minus 1 in 16 is 16. 16 times 4, we are going to have, let's check our calculator now. 16 multiplied by 4. We have we have 64. 64 64 over 225 minus 16. Subtract 64 from 225. 225 minus 64 is equal to 161 over 16. 161 over 16. So the value of alpha raised to the power 4 plus beta raised to the power 4 is equal to 161 all over 16. You can use this method to check some other questions of this nature. You'll discover that you are going to get the right answer on it. Please follow the trend that we use in simplifying that particular value of alpha raised to the power 4 plus beta raised to the power 4. We also have alpha raised to the power 3, beta raised to the power 3, and whichever one we have there, we make sure you follow the step accordingly. Please, we implore you to subscribe to this channel so that you'll be able to have all our lectures. You can choose any one you like there and take a look at it to teach you how to solve mathematics with ease. Thank you and God bless.